Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video lecture I'm going to discuss about the having clause. And yeah, I know I'm uploading this video after a very long gap because my laptop was crashed, so that time I was not able to upload any video. So again, I hope it's working fine now, so I'm just recording it. Let's see how it goes. So in today's video lecture we are going to discuss about the having clause. So in having clause, basically what happens when we are using the aggregate function, in that case we are going to use the having clause if we want to do any filtration on that. Okay, and in this case where clause is optional, but we can use the where clause also. Both where clause and having clause can be used in a single syntax. I mean in single query we can use the where clause and having clause both, but when we are using the having clause it is compulsory like that we are using with the aggregate function. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear to you. So this is the theory part. We'll jump on the hands-on so that the concept will be more clear. Okay, so let's go to the MySQL Workbench, and in this workbench I'm going to use the student table. Here you can see there is a number of data in the student table, so we are going to use this data and we are going to use the having clause and the where clause, and we are going to see the difference. Okay, so first we have this student table. Now we want to select student sum of marks, and this sum of marks is aggregate function. I have made one or two sorts regarding the max, min and count function, so you can refer that also, because this aggregate function is basically a function that will give you the result based on these aggregated values. Like in this query I'm using this sum function, so it will give the sum of all the records whatever in the sum function. So I'm passing this marks here, so I will get all the marks, whatever the sum of that marks will get as a result. Okay, so we are using sum of marks, count of student ID and student ID. First we are using the student ID, how many student ID are there, how many counts are there, and you're using also selecting the student ID. So we'll see the difference when we run the query from a student table where marks should be greater than 200. When marks is greater than 200, then we'll get the result whatever the marks is there in the marks column, but it will fetch out the records, it will fetch out the marks that is greater than 200, and we are grouping is by student ID. So let's run it. See, first is sum of marks, so it's giving you sum of marks. Second is count of a student ID, so it's 2 and student ID is 1. So what we are understanding by this output, we are getting like student ID whose one student ID whose count is 2 and the sum of marks is 7200. So how will identify like this the output we are getting is correct or not? So let me run this student table again so you will understand it more clearly. So see, the first one is this record student ID 1 and this marks is 3600. Okay, and we can see this the last row also there is a duplicate row, and this marks is 3600. So when we see this outputs, we can see like the sum of marks is 7200, student ID 1 having 2 counts, so it is giving you this result. Okay, and if we want to see this also, so see the student ID 8 is having 5 counts, so we can see like 8 is having 5 count, so we can see the result output is correct, and we understand the output how this is coming. So I hope this is clear to you guys. Now we'll understand how we are using the having clause. So see, when we are using having clause, it is using the aggregate function. You can see here sum of marks is greater than 200. So what will we have, what is happening here, like we are selecting whatever the column is there from a student table, group by student ID, having sum of marks is greater than 200, and order by student ID descending. So when we are ascending in descending arranging in descending order, so let's see, it will give you the order in descending order, like student ID 87654, and whatever the marks is there it will be giving you the marks. Okay, so let's suppose we are not gonna use the order by clause. Okay, so when we are not going to use the order by clause, so what will happen, MySQL will give you the default value, like by default it is in ascending order, so it will give you the output in ascending order, you can see. And here what we are filtering, we are using the having clause sum of marks greater than 200. So whatever the marks which is greater than 200, it will filter out. See, if we give the 7200, so it is gonna filter out this record. So let me run it, and you can see that record is filtered out. And many other records, if that is greater than 7200, and whatever the record that is greater than 7200, that is got filter out. Okay, so I think this is clear to you guys. Now for the timing, I'm using this 200 only. And one thing I have told you, like we can use the where and having clause in the same query. So we can see this, like when where student id in 8 and 1, the student id where 8 and 1 is the student id, that two only we want in a result. So we have given the where clause, and when we run this, we can get this through. If we use this order by clause, so what will happen, it will arrange it in a descending order. So 8 will be the first record and 1 will be the second record. So I hope this thing is clear, and this is a very small concept, but many time interviewer ask and we are not knowing the exact answer, and that's why we fail to answer. So whatever I am facing in my interview, I just convey to you guys. I hope this is helpful for you. So one question I went through, like what is the difference between having and where clause. So the difference is exact. You can see, like whenever you are using the having clause, we have to use the aggregate function, but in general we can use where clause. And the second question arises, like we can use the having clause and where clause in same query. So yeah, in one single query we can use the where clause and having clause both. So I hope the interview question is also I have covered here, and the concept also I have covered here. Whatever the aggregate function I have already told you, and again I show you that you can get the concept more clear. So yeah, that's for this today video lecture. Stay tuned with me. Thank you.